Not jumping on the fidget spinner bandwagon. Legit, I am trying to make your day better. Fidget spinners, apparently the best thing ever for someone with ADD or ADHD. Doesn't work for me. What does work for me is to make my own fidget spinner out of some timber in my shed. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own fidget spinner real easy. Anyone can buy a fidget spinner and have the same fidget spinner as you, but if you make it yourself, it is yours. It's unique. It's the envy of everybody in the playground / office. First thing I did was I bought myself a bunch of bearings. I bought myself a ceramic bearing and I bought myself a bunch of stainless steel bearings. Now the ceramic bearing was about $8 for a 22mm bearing like this one. I got 6 stainless steel ones for the same price. Hear the sound the steel bearing makes? And this is the sound of ceramic bearing. So it might be worth the extra few dollars just to not annoy your mum. I'll give you a link to the store I bought them from in the description below. If you're outside of Australia, I'm sure if you did a quick Google search for fidget spinner bearings, you'll find something similar and probably even cheaper. Take your 6mm MDF, get yourself a nice big hole saw, the biggest one you can find in your shed. I had an 88mm one, and just drill yourself a hole. Come out looking something like that. Not very fidget spinnery, but it's a start. Bore out the center hole to 22mm, the same size as your bearing. Here's one I prepared earlier. Okay? Now you've got a 22mm hole, still not very fidget spinnery. Tim's hot tip. Now, on mine, the hole, even though it's a 22mm bit, the hole came out slightly larger than the bearing. That's actually a good thing. You don't want the bearing to be too loose, but you are going to paint this, and when you paint it, the hole's going to get smaller. That was a Tim's hot tip. Now, it's enough to just have it a circle with your bearing in the middle and painted and spinning, but that's kind of boring. You'll notice on a real fidget spinner, they put rivets and things in the outside, right? Like this. They add weight, and when this spins, that weight goes out, and I'm not a scientist, but it makes it spin faster. Knowing that, jumped down the hardware store and bought myself a bunch of big nuts like this. They're similar size to the bearing. It's like I drill some holes evenly spaced around the outside of the fidget spinner, and I could set those nuts into those holes that will give it some weight just by tapping them in gently with a hammer. Sand it before you paint it. Once you give it a couple of coats, paint both sides, paint all the edges, give it a light sand between coats. But once you've given it a couple of coats and it's well sealed, bring it inside and assemble it. Put the nuts in the outside, bearing in the center, you'll end up with something looking like this. Now that's not the fidget spinner I showed you that I prepared earlier. I thought that's cool, it spins, it's great, it's awesome, but it's boring as all get out because it's just a bloody big flying saucer. Oh, it's dusty. So from the board that I cut the circles from, I spaced the circles out. Can you see how that fits? Leaving myself like an 1.5 inch gap in the middle of the board, and then when I cut this circle out, it came out this pretty shape. Alternatively, you could take a nice big drill bit, like one of these, and you could like cut some shape to it. Maybe even you could set out, if you get your compass out, you could set out 3 bearings instead of 2, and cut it out similar to this, with 3 big holes in between. It's up to you. The whole point of making your own is you make it like no one else's. Also, you'll notice, bearings exposed. Shop bought one has nice little plates that cover it, and maybe you can pop those off. You'll find there's a 22mm bearing under there as well, and put those on yours. But I went down to the hardware store, and I grabbed these little rubber buttons that have double-sided tape on the bottom. And the go is those, is there for stopping your chairs and your furniture from dragging on your hardwood floor. I got a pack of 8 of these for $6, $5. I got a pack of 8 of these for $2, right? And I just whacked a bit of paint on them, pull off the double-sided tape, stick it to the bearing, and I now have something for my finger to hold onto, right? Here's one I prepared earlier. You see I've already painted them, stuck them on. Spins like a beast. Happy camper. If you're into fidget spinners, even if you're not, and you've got some time to kill this weekend, why not make yourself a fidget spinner? It's a fun little project, somebody will enjoy playing with it, and show us what you make. Love to see what you come up with. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and if you don't like this video, also like and subscribe and even share this video. I'm Tim Shearman. You've been lovely. I'll see you soon.
Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-